This time at the expense of Ty Simpson. Now, look, I've said, hey, I'm rooting for Shedeur. I hope it works out for him. I do. But you certainly did not see enough last year to just go into the year and be like, this guy's the starter. There's not a chance in hell, if I'm the Browns, I'm not drafting a quarterback somewhere in this draft in the first 3 rounds. Probably the first 2 rounds, to be quite honest with you. There's 3 guys: Simpson, Garrett Nussmeier, Carson Beck. I think Carson Beck's got real starter potential. I think Garrett Nussmeier's got starter potential.
Shedeur Sanders was called elite. That word changed everything, because while the media pushes him forward, the Cleveland Browns are holding back. One side sees a future franchise quarterback. The other side keeps the door open for someone else. That gap tells a deeper story, a story about trust, pressure, and a career hanging in balance. This season was supposed to confirm his rise. Instead, it raised more questions than answers. Now every throw, every decision, every moment carries weight, because the league has already started making its judgment, and what they decide next could change everything. Shedeur Sanders stands in one of the most uncomfortable positions a young quarterback can face. He has hype, he has attention, he has belief from voices that carry weight. Yet inside the building that matters most, there is hesitation.
Mel Kiper Jr.
The Jets have to be figuring out Ty Simpson. The Steelers have to figure out Ty Simpson. And now certainly Arizona does. They want to try to trade back in and get him.
Yeah, the Browns, by the way, need to figure out Ty Simpson as well.
The Browns don't have to worry about Ty Simpson. They got a better quarterback than Ty Simpson than Shedeur Sanders. Don't go there.
I believe the Browns need to figure out Ty Simpson.
I mean, that's nuts. They got a better quarterback than Ty Simpson. Where is he? Where are they hiding that guy at? Exactly. That is laughable, folks.
When an ESPN insider labels a quarterback as elite, that statement travels fast. It shapes perception. It creates expectation. It pushes a narrative that fans begin to accept as truth. That word alone can elevate a player before results fully support it. And that is exactly what has happened here. But the Cleveland Browns are sending a very different signal. They have not handed him control of the offense. They have not built full stability around him. They continue to explore options. That tells you everything without saying a word. Because in the NFL, belief shows through action. And right now, their actions show caution. This creates a split reality. On one side, Shedeur is framed as a rising star, a quarterback with leadership, confidence, and long-term upside, a player who could grow into a face of a franchise. On the other side, he remains a question mark, a young quarterback with flashes but also inconsistency, a player who still has to earn full trust inside a system that demands results fast. That tension drives the entire story, because quarterbacks do not get unlimited time in today's NFL. Teams move quickly, they adjust quickly, they replace quickly. If belief is not strong early, doubt grows even faster. And right now, Shedeur exists right in the middle of that line. Every practice matters, every rep matters, every decision adds to a growing evaluation that never pauses. The label of elite brings pressure, but pressure without security creates a different type of challenge. It creates urgency, because this situation will not stay balanced for long. Either the Browns commit fully, or they begin to shift away quietly. And when that shift starts, it rarely reverses, which leads to the bigger question the league keeps asking.
Put clown hair on that joker. It is hilarious. Shedeur's fan base is living and dying by Mel Kiper Jr. And I like Mel, but come on. You're not getting any brownie points shilling for that guy at all. None. And again, I'm rooting for the kid. But again, there's no way in hell there's not a third person in there competing for that job this year.
Before Shedeur Sanders ever stepped onto an NFL field, the league had already made a statement about him. And that statement came during the draft. Many expected him to go early. The name carried weight. The production at Colorado created buzz. The confidence in his game made headlines. Everything pointed toward a strong entry into the league. Then, the slide happened. Teams passed. Round after round, his name stayed on the board longer than expected. That moment shifted perception instantly, because in the NFL, draft position reflects belief. It reflects how front offices view long-term potential. And when a quarterback falls, it raises questions that stay attached to him. Why did teams hesitate? Some pointed to decision-making under pressure. Others questioned how his style would translate at the next level. There were concerns about consistency. There were concerns about how he handled adversity. Every small doubt added up, and together they created distance between expectation and reality. That distance followed him into the league. Even after being selected, the narrative did not reset. It carried forward. Every snap became part of a larger evaluation that started months earlier. He was not entering as a locked-in future star. He was entering as someone who had to prove why teams were wrong. That changes everything, because when a quarterback enters with questions, those questions stay active until fully answered. Strong moments help. Big plays create excitement, but consistency is what removes doubt, and consistency takes time. The problem is time feels limited. Teams do not wait the way they once did. Development windows are shorter. Expectations rise faster. If progress does not match belief, adjustments come quickly. That puts Shedeur in a constant test.
Well, you mentioned the quarterback thing. Let's steer things there, as the Browns are telling everybody that'll listen publicly that, they're signed up to let Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson compete for this starting quarterback job in 2026. The obvious caveat feels like if they draft a quarterback, maybe that guy gets added into the competition between Sanders and Watson, but they didn't aggressively pursue Malik Willis. They weren't really in the Kyler Murray stuff. What do you make of the current Shedeur Sanders versus Deshaun Watson battle? Because everybody's repeating here, Miles, that Deshaun Watson has a real chance to start.
Every game becomes more than a performance. It becomes evidence. Evidence that supports belief, or evidence that reinforces doubt. And when the starting point includes skepticism from draft night, the margin becomes even tighter. That is why the draft slide still matters. It created a baseline of uncertainty that still shapes how he's viewed today. It set the tone for how teams evaluate him. It defined the level of patience he will receive moving forward. And that pressure only intensified once he stepped onto the field. Because what happened during his rookie season did not give the league a clear answer. Instead, it created more debate. Shedeur Sanders' rookie season did not give the league a clear answer. Instead, it created more debate. There were moments where he looked in control. Clean throws, strong reads, confidence in the pocket. You could see the potential. You could see why people believed he could grow into something bigger. Those flashes stood out. Then came the other side. Mistakes at key moments, decisions that shifted momentum, drives that stalled when the team needed stability. Those moments carried equal weight, and in a league that values consistency above everything else, that balance created uncertainty. The numbers reflected that story. Production showed effort and opportunity. Touchdowns showed flashes of execution. Interceptions showed risk. Yardage showed involvement, yet the overall picture lacked control. It felt incomplete. It felt like a player still searching for rhythm in a system that demands precision. That combination confused analysts. Some saw growth. They pointed to the environment, the adjustments, the learning curve. They believed time would sharpen his decision-making and elevate his performance. Others saw warning signs. They focused on the turnovers. They focused on inconsistency. They questioned whether those issues would fade or become patterns that follow him long-term. That split opinion still exists today, because his rookie season did not settle the debate. It extended it.
Yeah, it's one piece away, right? And so I think whether it is investing in Sanders this year or, you go with a Ty Simpson, you go with a Nussmeier, you go with an Aller and see what they can do, fine. But it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of another, right? You're still kind of in the same position of, okay, we have to train this guy up in this offense in order to see what he really can be.
And that creates a difficult position for a young quarterback. When the league does not have a clear read, teams protect themselves. They stay flexible. They avoid full commitment until the picture becomes clearer. That is exactly what Cleveland is doing. They're watching, evaluating, preparing for multiple outcomes at the same time. That approach keeps pressure on the quarterback. It removes comfort. It forces progress to happen faster. For Shedeur, that means every mistake feels heavier. Every strong performance needs to repeat. Every game becomes part of a larger judgment that builds week after week. There is no neutral ground anymore, because the rookie season raised one critical question that still has no answer. Was that the beginning of growth or the first sign of a deeper problem? The biggest signal in the NFL is not what a team says, it is what a team does. And right now, the Cleveland Browns are moving carefully around Shedeur Sanders.
The Browns don't have to worry about Ty Simpson. They got a better quarterback than Ty Simpson than Shedeur Sanders.
Come on.
Shedeur Sanders seems to be pretty committed to being an elite QB1 as he is caught again on camera putting in some more off-season work. Let's check it out. And this time he's back in Colorado.
Come on. Come in.
It's that copyright music. But yeah, man, with the guy Gage, Lavardane, I hope, y'all know me. I be butchering these names. I hope I don't say it right. But we look, this is nothing new. I know y'all know it.
It get dangerous.
When he gets a full off season, he told y'all what was gonna happen.
There is no clear commitment, no strong declaration, no moment where they have handed him full control and said, "This is your team." Instead, they continue to evaluate. They continue to explore. They keep options open in a way that feels deliberate. That approach creates pressure without saying a word. Because when a team truly believes in a quarterback, they build around him early. They remove doubt. They create stability. That has not happened here. The offense remains flexible. The long-term plan remains unclear. This tells a deeper story. The Browns are preparing for multiple outcomes. One where Shedeur develops into the answer, another where they pivot quickly if progress stalls. That dual path keeps everything uncertain. For a young quarterback, that environment can either sharpen focus or expose flaws faster, because there is no safety net here, only opportunity and a clock that is already ticking. Mel Kiper Jr. has taken a strong position on Shedeur Sanders. He believes in him. He has defended him publicly. He has pushed the idea that passing on Shedeur would be a mistake. That kind of backing carries influence, because when a voice like Kiper speaks, it shapes how fans and analysts view a player. It builds momentum. It creates expectation. It puts pressure on teams to justify their decisions. But the NFL operates differently. Front offices do not follow hype. They follow evaluation. They trust what they see daily. Film, practice, decision-making under pressure. Those details matter more than public opinion. That creates a clash.
Your boy Mel Kiper over here, he said something that I totally agree with. He said the Browns don't have to worry about Ty Simpson. They've got a better quarterback in Shedeur Sanders than Ty. He exceeded expectations by miles considering what he had to do to overcome. Obviously better than Dylan. I think he's the Browns quarterback for the future.
I'm not here to give a Shedeur love speech. Nothing changed in my view of Shedeur. Giving him the opportunity to have a line, have a year in the system, have a year where he has actual real wide receivers that he can hand it off to with the running game. You know what I'm saying? Like a true chance to be a starting quarterback. People are looking at Shedeur since he went in the 5th round like a 5th round quarterback. I'm still looking at Shedeur like the quarterback I thought could have went 1 or 2.
On one side, the media continues to elevate Shedeur as a future franchise quarterback. On the other, teams remain cautious. They move slower. They wait for proof that removes doubt. This gap fuels debate. Who is right? The voices pushing belief or the teams holding back commitment? Because one side is projecting the future, the other is reacting to the present, and that difference will decide how this story unfolds. There comes a point in every young quarterback's career where potential stops mattering. For Shedeur Sanders, that point is now. This season carries weight that goes beyond development. It defines direction. A strong leap forward changes everything. It secures belief. It forces the Browns to commit. It turns questions into answers. But if inconsistency continues, the outcome shifts quickly. The NFL does not wait. Teams move on. They draft replacements. They adjust plans without hesitation. And when that shift happens, it becomes difficult to reverse. That is the reality Shedeur is stepping into. Every game becomes a statement. Every decision adds to a growing judgment. There is no room for long stretches of uncertainty anymore, because the NFL is already watching closely. Some are waiting for proof that he can lead. Others are waiting for confirmation that he cannot. And the margin between those two outcomes is thin. This is no longer about potential. It is about results. So the question becomes simple. When the moment arrives, will Shedeur Sanders take control of his future, or will the NFL decide it for him?